Welcome everybody, you're watching another episode of the BJJ Fightgear Lockdown show. And we're talking today with a special guest, Pedro Ramalho. Thank you, Pedro, for being here today.
Thank you for the opportunity, man.
We are slowly starting to see some countries lifting their lockdown measures and gyms reopening, jiu-jitsu academies starting to get back into training like solo drills, and some do outdoor exercises. Let me also introduce you a little bit for those few people out there that maybe don't know you yet. I think most people are very familiar with you and seen you at tournaments. You are 2020 IBJJF Europeans silver medalist and also a top competitor from FOCUS Jiu Jitsu under Manuel Neto. A lot has changed since the last time that we met here at the office. It was still normal times. How are you right now, and how are you doing during the lockdown?
I'm doing well, actually. Lockdown is rough on everyone, but especially if you're an athlete, because you cannot do your normal life, because you cannot train properly. But luckily, I have a teammate. I live with a teammate, so I could keep training through all the lockdown. Of course, it's different.
Cool.
But I use these times to improve a lot of things that I didn't have in my jiu-jitsu, like a lot of flaws. So it has been good for me.
What are some flaws that you have been working on?
Just like some things that I never really trained, because when you're in competition mode, you always try to get your A game, right? To competition. But since we had like 3 or 4 free months, I use it. Okay, what can I get better? Like, what does my game lack? So I used it to get better at passing.
Oh, cool.
Some very specific stuff. Like not passing in general. Like, I'm very good at passing now.
Because you were usually more of a guard player, right?
What? Sorry?
You're usually more of a guard player, a guard puller, right?
Yeah, I'm both. I like to think that I'm both.
Right.
I always pull guard, but that's just because I don't like standing.
Yeah.
If the guy pulls with me, I can go up and pass. There's no problem. But I just don't like to stand.
But doesn't mean you also worked on takedowns and things like that, or is that a bit too far out of?
Also.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. You won't see like a judo guy or a wrestling guy.
Yeah.
But mostly getting the postures right, the reactions right, defending takedowns, understanding the more a bit of a wrestling game.
Yeah.
Understanding like what does my passing game lack, like which guards do I have a hard time passing, or being able to defend sweeps, because I was always like in the mindset when I go up I want to pass, but it's more complicated than that. You cannot just go up and pass someone's guard, because at black belt, like in Europeans, worlds, people have world-class guards, so it doesn't work like that,
Right.
So you have to be able to defend, you have to be able to be safe in their guards, and that was something that I always lacked. I was good at attacking, but not really good at defending.
Got it.
So that's something that I worked on. And also some things from my guard. I'm changing my guard a little bit. And not changing, but complementing.
Right, some additional things.
Yeah.
And is there anything in your training that you feel like the training opportunities that you have, is there still anything lacking? Because you've been training with your flatmate also, who's also your training partner. So obviously you could do a lot more than many people. But do you miss training with other people in terms of that you need that to get better?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, it's a different feeling. Like going into a training room, there's like 20 guys that you can train with, and everyone wants to train, and you go like really hard training session.
Right.
That is something that it's just different. It's a good feeling. That's why most athletes live for.
Yeah.
Not just the tournaments, but the feeling of going going into training room and just train hard. You know, the feeling is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like I can. It's not that I cannot complain. It's even more than that. Like I was happy with my training for the last few months, because even though I didn't have that, I think I've improved a lot. You know, so I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change it.
Yeah, cool. How do you deal with the? I mean, obviously, I can already hear from you that you've been pretty positive under the circumstances, but I can imagine you also have pressure and sometimes feel like, man, let's get back to training. But how did you deal with that stress or with that pressure mentally?
Actually, I didn't really have that, because I tried to stay positive. I did. And also, like, I'm a person that looks at things like, if I start feeling pressure or when does this end, like, it won't change anything. You know? So yeah. I like to think like that. And if I can do something to change it, I'll do it. If I cannot do anything, just make the most out of it. You know? And that's what I'm doing right now.
Would you say that's a lot of personal characteristics, quality of you, or is it also a bit Portuguese mindset, culture?
I think like it's also a bit of Portuguese culture, because we're all like laid back, you know?
Yeah.
But it's also, I think it's not quality, but something that Jiu-Jitsu taught me, you know?
Right.
Because when you're like preparing for a tournament, you just want to win and you want to do this and that, like the day before the fight. But yeah, there's really nothing that you can do to change it, you know? You will have to go there and fight, and what will happen will happen.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do the day before. So you have to learn how to deal with that, you know? So the mindset is exactly the same.
Yeah.
There's nothing if I'm fighting tomorrow, there's nothing I can do now that will change it, you know? Of course I can prepare, and I should prepare for the last few months, do everything that I was supposed to do. But the day before, you just have to chill and make the most out of it, you know?
Yeah. Is that
right now it's the same situation.
Do you think that's like the key characteristic of successful competitors, being able to do that, to let go of that anxiety of, okay, what's going to happen tomorrow? Besides, of course, being good technique wise, but
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's not the key, but it's definitely an important characteristic, because like I've dealt with that. Like I say that as personal experience. Like I did everything right, like the training, physical conditioning, like technically, my nutrition was all perfect. But the day before I was like, oh, I have to do something so that tomorrow it works better, you know?
Yeah.
And then like how this works is you prepare, you have a preparation, so you're like well, but then you have to take that and perform, put that on the mat. You know, it's not, if you do everything well, that doesn't mean you're going to do well in competition.
Right.
But because if you don't control your mind, like everything that you will do, you'll be able to use 50% of what you did. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that this is the key. Yeah, I think this is the key to taking everything that you've done and put 100% on the mat. You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Understood.
I don't know if I explained it well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm also curious, because you actually one of your more recent tournaments, and definitely one of your biggest achievements in recent years, was that you got a silver medal also at the Europeans, IBJJF Europeans 2020, after coming back from quite a long period of injury, at least in terms of full-time competitor. That's a long period. You had your elbow, I think, injured.
Yeah, like I have since I won like the Worlds 2015 at purple belt.
Yeah.
And like this has a lot to do with mindset. Like I spent some years where I was injured for a long time. And I think it was mostly because of two things. Like I was starting to struggle with my weight. You know, I was fighting lightweight, but I always had to cut like 4 kilos, 5 kilos, and like cutting weight, it gets you injured.
Yeah.
But also like winning worlds was an experience that like for that year, the year before I lost, I got submitted, and like that was one of the saddest days of my life. So I was like, no, next year I'm going to win. I spent 1 year like waking up every day thinking about the same thing, 24 hours a day, you know? And like when you get that, it's weird because it's like you imagine getting there, and that's the only thing that you have. And not the only thing, of course, but it's the only thing that your mind is focused on. Yeah. And then you do it, and it's like, okay, what now? You know? And the next few years, I didn't have the same motivation, you know, because yeah, I want to fight the worlds again. I want to win, but it's not the same thing. Like before, it was like something like inside your heart, you know, that you really wanted it.
And is it because the goal is not like you already did it and then you can't work yourself up?
Yeah, I was like trying to motivate myself. Yeah, but I didn't win worlds and brown belts, you know?
Yeah.
So you should be able to push yourself, but I just wasn't motivated the same, you know? And I was training more like soft and everything, and that gets you injuries. And I was, you know, then I was starting to get like stressed because like, why don't I want it the same way? You know, there's something wrong. That gets you even more down. And if you're more down, you'll get more injuries. Right. So like I fought the Worlds 2016. Like I was injured for 3 months. I won the Euros and brown belt, and then like I got a knee injury. I fought injured, and then I had to stop for 1 month. Then I got back and got another injury. Then I got back and I got another injury. Always in the first training.
Oh man!
So I got back to training in like the end of April. Then I trained for like 3 weeks and went to fight the Worlds. And yeah, I got silver. And then I was like really, really sad as well. But I wasn't in a good place like at that time. So yeah, it got worse, you know. Then next year, injuries again. I got the elbow fucked. So like I don't know if that was an injury like happened from training, or it could have been something that was always me. Like my nerve that goes through the elbow, the one, you know, when you hit the table and it hurts like hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's electricity. Like, every time that I bent my arm, the nerve went out of place. You know. Man.
Yeah.
So like after 30 seconds of like the round, I couldn't move my arm anymore. But I went to the doctor, and I was like, yeah, your elbow's fine. I did like 3 MRIs, all the tests. They were all saying my elbow's fine, but I couldn't move my arm. Like, how the fuck is this fine? You know?
Yeah.
And then like after 1 year, I continued testing. After 1 year and a half, a doctor figured out what it was. So like every time that you do testing, your arm is straight, right? So the nerve was in place. So that's why, your arm is fine. But one of the doctors like, okay, bend your arm now. And like when I bent my arm, he saw the nerve going out of place.
Oh man.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's then they got it. That was hard as well. Like I couldn't train, but the doctor said I'm fine. Like once again, like, is this me? Is this not?
Yeah. Sometimes you have to push your way in the hospital. Like you don't want to act like, oh, it hurts so much, but you do have to show the doctor like, hey, this is serious. You need to help me.
Yeah, I always have that struggle. But after like 3 doctors saying that I was fine, I was starting questioning myself. Like, is this me? Like, what the fuck is going on? You know?
Yeah.
Because I was 6 months. I couldn't train. I went to the doctors. Like, I did everything fine. And like, everyone said that I was fine. Like, what is this? You know? That was also rough.
And how did you come back from that? Like you said you were in a bit of a bad space. It kind of spiraled a bit.
Yeah.
Not winning, or at least not at the extent that you wanted. Not being able to train, more injuries. How did you get back?
Yeah, like it was a hard couple of years, really hard couple of years, because it was not only about winning, you know, because like now I see it, but before I didn't. Like when I got silver at Worlds, like I don't know, it was worse than losing in the first fight. You know,
right? Because you were so close.
Like I didn't want to fight. I remember I was there waiting to fight the finals, and I just didn't want to fight. You know, just like I wish I could. I wish I couldn't fight. You know,
Why is that? You just didn't?
I don't know. Like that's what I was saying. I was pushing myself. That year was after I won Worlds. I didn't want to train. I didn't want to compete. I pushed myself to do it. I never skipped one training or one strength and conditioning session. I always did. I always kept doing it, but I didn't want to do it. You know, and competition was the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's hard. Like then the elbow thing, that like you said, it spirals a little bit. And then in like 2018, it was like I was starting to get more relaxed. I was always really stressed, but I got too relaxed, you know?
Yeah.
Like I went to one side to the other. And then 2019, I started feeling better. You know, like still I was coming back, you know?
Yeah.
Like on my mind, not really like on winning or losing, you know? But like being able to get a good mindset, in training better, wanting to train, and stuff like that. And like I lost, I did well in the Europeans. I lost against Levi, but I fought well. I was dying from the weight cut. I don't know how I fought, you know, like I lost by one mistake. I tried to sweep right away, and then I swept into a bad spot, so he swept me right away as well. I lost by 2 points, but like I felt I could win that fight, you know.
Right.
And he was doing so well, like the last competitions, you know, he's like top on lightweight.
Yeah.
But I felt like, yeah, okay, if he's winning, but I could have won. Like I could have won that fight, you know.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I can do it, you know.
Yeah.
So
and now you moved up.
I fought. Sorry.
And now you moved up.
Yeah. And then I fought the Worlds. Was a strong weight cut as well, but I started feeling better. I started feeling more relaxed, like I said, but I didn't have the mindset to perform. You know what I mean? And I fought Jon Thomas the first round. I got submitted. I was doing well. I got swept in the beginning. Then I was chilling, swept right away. Was controlling the fight. I almost passed like 2 or 3 times, and I just like on one of the passes, like I just sat back. I tried to go for an armbar, I think that in a spot that I don't do, you know, and he got my back. And I was like, no, like something's wrong, you know. I'm still not okay, but I will figure out what's wrong. You know?
Right.
I got like, I was like an eye opener, you know, like I could see where I wasn't okay, but I could see what I had to do to become better.
And that's technique wise, right? You're talking about?
No, mentally wise.
Mental, right?
Yeah, because technique, I was weak from the weight cut. The things like I was weak physically, but mentally, it's what stuff is on me.
Yeah.
Because if I feel my muscles sore, I can still fight, but like from being slower, you know.
Sure.
That thing is.
But what was it mentally then exactly that you described? Like you suddenly, the light bulb moment where you saw, hey, this is what I need to work on to get out of this.
No, as I didn't know what was it, you know, but I understood like where I was, you know. I was like, okay, something's really not right. Something is wrong, you know.
A bit of a mirror.
I was calm enough to understand. Okay, this is not where I'm not okay mentally. Like in the mindset. When I said I'm not okay mentally, I was not depressed or anything like that. But I was like, okay, I'm going into competition. This is not my right mindset. I have to find myself, find my motivation to fight, you know, to be able to perform, you know, because I feel like I could win that fight. I was controlling it, you know. I could control it until the end, but I didn't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like I could win this fight, not easily, you know, but I could have controlled it and win, I think.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Jon Thomas, he's a great guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, so like I took some time to think and chill. Like instead of being like more stressed like I was in the years before, I was calmer, you know. Took some time off competition to I kept training. I went on vacation, and then I came back from vacation. I was like, okay, I'm going to check if lightweight is what I'm doing. So I fought Lisbon Open on lightweight. I won Lisbon Open. I went to Wales to fight a tournament, also on lightweight. I won as well, in the absolute. And yeah, I did well, but it was tough on me, the weight cut still. I performed like really well. I did the weight cut well, but I was always thinking like maybe I should move up to middleweight, you know. And like before, it was hard for me to admit that I should go up to middleweight, you know, because all the pressure. I think I could perform better on lightweight because that's where I always was, you know. So I think when I moved up, I was like, okay, let's go to middleweight. That made me understand that I was getting good mentally, you know, because if I was okay enough to switch to in the Europeans, it was the first big tournament that I fought in middleweight, you know, and I just tried it on the Europeans instead of like trying it before.
Yeah,
that's what.
Why was that?
I'm more confident, you know. I'm more confident on myself.
Yeah. So you knew going into that, like, this is just what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna work out in this weight class.
Yeah, like my professor was always saying that you should move up to middleweight. You should move up to middleweight. I was like, nah, I don't think so. And in the Europeans, I was like, oh fuck it, okay. If he says that this is the best, I'm going to trust him.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you feel
like 99% of the times, whenever he says something, he's right, you know? So yeah, just going to trust him, and it was the best decision.
And do you feel better in general at this weight class, like not training or competition wise, but like just your general energy? Do you feel any different, or do you feel better?
Yeah, of course. It's totally different. I don't have to worry about weight cuts.
Yeah.
You know, so that's actually like, I was always weighing like 80 kilos, 81. I just got like 5 kilos. But like when I decided, okay, I'm going to fight middle, I can eat whatever I want. I was super happy. You know, it was the first time in like 5 years that I can fight and eat whatever I want. Yeah. So I ate too much. And the day of the competition, I was like not even checking the scale and everything. I was like eating. And the day in the competition, I went there like 1 hour and a half before. I was like 83.2. I was like, fuck no. Like I moved up the division so I don't have to lose weight, and I had to run to lose 1 kilo.
Yeah. Well, that's how fast.
Then, like I already knew. My professor was like insulting me, like, I told you should move up on division. You should move up the division. You're in middleweight and you have to cut weight, you know.
So can we expect you in heavyweight next year? Or
after, if we have another quarantine, for sure.
Yeah. What like obviously during quarantine and off competition season, I guess a lot of people, even that are like the top competitors, are eating differently, maybe slacking a little bit here and there. But what does your normal diet look like? Do you follow a specific diet, or are you pretty much just looking at the kilos?
No, like it depends. I don't like. It's hard for me to keep a diet all year round. Like I don't like to eat whatever I want the whole year round, and I don't like to eat 100% clean the whole year round.
Yeah.
So I like to switch, you know.
Right.
Like for 3 months, okay. Like usually I use it pre-competition. Like I just eat clean because I feel well. But after eating clean, I like to eat whatever I want to. I never go like super fat mode. You know, so I always like, if I'm having like my major meals, like dinner and lunch, I always eat clean. Maybe I'll eat like chocolate afterwards, but I don't like to eat a lot of fries and stuff like that, you know.
For sure.
When I say I eat whatever I want, like sometimes I do eat hamburgers, of course, but generally I eat normal. And what I mean about eating whatever I want is like eating chocolate afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know,
you don't finish the whole Snickers, mini Snickers bag or something.
Yeah. If I'm just like, if my diet just ended, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Before we move on, I wanted to like go back a little bit to the motivation thing, because that's something I find very interesting, and especially I think you have a lot of experience with as a competitor, but also as somebody who who's been through so many injuries before. I can imagine for like the average jiu-jitsu practitioner who trains 3, 4, maybe 5 times a week and has a job and it's a hobby. They always look forward to training, or even though sometimes maybe not easy to push it into the schedule, but that's just tonight I can train again. But I can also imagine for you, even though you love the sport so much, if you train so much, sometimes maybe you have a day or something that you feel like, I don't feel like it so much, or at least I'm not that motivated today. How do you stay motivated, not just when you're feeling down, but over a longer period of time, day by day, and working towards a goal like world champ or the next big tournament?
In my opinion, the key for getting anything in life, big, of course, it's consistency. So what I like to do is I like to set what I have to do, and I have to train physical conditioning. Depends, like 5 times a week. I have trained jiu-jitsu every day, so that's the plan. It doesn't matter if I'm motivated or not, because like you're going to feel good, you're going to feel bad, like it shouldn't matter if you're trying to get something. Of course, if you're just doing jiu-jitsu for a hobby, that's not what I mean. If you don't want to train, don't train,
right?
But I'm saying, like, if you have a goal, and like if I said that I was going to train like tomorrow, I have to train tomorrow. Doesn't matter if I don't want to, because I think that's like, for example, you're working like that. This is my work. This is what I want to be my work, and I want to be when I do something, I want to do it well. This is my profession. I want to live off jiu-jitsu. So it shouldn't matter. Like for example, if sometimes you feel like not going to work the next day, right? But you do it anyway. Right. So because you have to. Same thing for me. It doesn't matter if I want to do physical conditioning or jiu-jitsu. I have to. So I kind of don't get that in the equation.
All right. And if it comes to a bigger goal, like how do you still set goals? If you obviously now you got silver, you still want gold. Is that a big motivator for you, like to still get a even bigger medal, or is what you just described, so you want to make jiu-jitsu, make it a living out of jiu-jitsu, and that probably involves other things than just competing, but also a life after competing, teaching. You're now working on content production also. You have your own YouTube channel, mentoring and coaching people. Is that something that also motivates you a lot, or is it really mainly the achievements within the competition life?
No, like I see there's different like areas, on which I want to accomplish things. In competition, of course, my motivation is getting where I want to be. I want to be a world champion, and that's some of my motivation. Always also, like, it's that getting the medal and also being the best, not only one,
Right.
So for example, like my motivation from the Euros is, of course, I want to get the gold, but it's also like, okay, not only, but this is the biggest example, like looking at my fight in the finals, what did I do wrong? What was lacking? What was he better than me? Tommy has a really weird game. It's hard to fight him, and okay, like, what can I do? What should I do to beat him? Like getting that process, getting better, understanding more jiu-jitsu, that's that and getting the gold medal are my motivations.
And is it that you're really eager also to get better than the other guy, or do you look a lot like at kind of reaching your own full potential?
No, like before I used to think like getting better than the other guy. Now I don't think about that anymore, because I don't know. I see it as kind of an obstacle, For example, I fight someone who has a really strong collar and sleeve. If I know how to pass, know how to defend, I will get better, not against him, but against everyone who plays collar and sleeve. Right. You know. Then next fight, I'm going to fight someone who always sweeps me on, I don't know, de la riva. You know, so I have to know how to shut that down. But now I know how to defend, like how to defend and approach de la riva, not just that guy. You know, the people who win just show you the flaws that you have. The people that you lose to just show you the flaws that you have.
Yeah.
You know, it's not me being better than him. It's like, okay, I have that flaw. I have to fix that flaw.
Right. So
I was totally lost there. I have to do something. I have to understand like what was happening there.
Yeah. And you could have that with somebody who's actually not as good as you by far, but you still notice your own shortcomings when you train with them.
Yeah, of course. Like I was saying, like on the that's more obvious on the final because I lost, but the other fights that I won, there were also things that I didn't really get right. You know, some mistakes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's talk about Tommy. You already mentioned that. Well, how was it for you? The fights leading up to the finals, and how was it to fight Tommy Langaker in the finals? Yeah, what are your thoughts about that?
Like the fights against to the final first round, I fought I think it was an English guy. It was a tough guy. It was really like one of those guys who's not that technically like sound, like really precise as the top competitors, but he had a lot of heart. You know, he didn't want to give up. Sometimes it's hard. It's really hard to fight those guys, you know, because you cannot get your techniques in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a fight. I submitted by Tohul, I think. Yeah, Tohul. Then I fought an Alliance guy, which was good also. I could pass and get the back. And then semi-final, I fought a friend of mine from Atos. It was Elshan. He's Rabin. He's a great friend of mine. Like 2 years ago, he was staying at my place. You know, he came here to train. He's like I lived with him for like 3 months. So it was weird to fight a guy that you know so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it was like in training, it was a war. I could win at the end by 1 advantage. And then the final against Tommy. Tommy has a weird game. Like it's hard to prepare, you know, because he does something that you've never seen. You know, and jiu-jitsu is like jiu-jitsu a lot of times, like for example, if I'm fighting you, like I'm the best guy in the world in everything, but you're the best guy in close guard. But we're going to fight. Like I'm better than you by far.
Yeah.
But you get me in close guard, you're going to win, even though I'm better. You know, I'm not saying like who's better. Like I'm better than him, he's better than me. I'm just saying that if you put someone in a position that he doesn't know, it doesn't matter who's better. You know.
Right.
And he gets that. Like when he plays guard, he does something that I've never felt. You know. So it was hard to fight him in that sense, you know. I wasn't really prepared for that. And that was 1 and 2. Like I felt that he was stronger than me at the time. I just moved up. I didn't have like a lot of time to work on my strength and everything. So yeah, it was a good fight. I love to fight him, because he's an awesome guy, awesome jiu-jitsu, you know, and that day he was better than me for sure. But I'm also looking forward to the next fight.
Yeah, and to that next fight, how do you prepare for that? Are you really looking for all the ways not to get trapped in his setups for his A game, and then force your own game?
No, I'm just trying to try to understand what's happening. You know? Not to be like lost in that position, you know.
Yeah.
Like if
you're not trying to avoid it.
No, I won't try to avoid it, because I don't know. My mindset is maybe sometimes like it's a double-edged sword, of course. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, you know. But I don't. When I fight someone, I like to fight their A game. You know.
That's from your own heart. Like, I really want to beat you when
yeah,
you're at your best.
It's just who I am. You know. Some people like to go around, and like I said, it's a double-edged sword. Like maybe two things can happen: or I do well, or I just go straight into his A game, and it doesn't work. Like, oh, he went straight to his A game. I know how it is, but yeah, that's just how it is for me.
Yeah. And considering that we're, what's the situation, by the way, in Portugal when it comes to the jiu-jitsu academies being able to open again? Is there any future in the coming weeks there?
Yeah, we don't know. We're expecting to know more today, like the government is going to say. And we don't know if we can open on Monday because like what happened until now, like I think it was dentists, like which they said like, okay, you guys can open, but you can open like 3 days from now.
Yeah.
Instead of like warning, like with 1 week or 2 weeks, you just say like right on time, yeah, you can open tomorrow. Like everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
No one was expecting it, you know.
A bit like the lockdown itself.
What?
A bit like the lockdown itself. From today on, you're closed.
Yeah, exactly. So we're preparing to open on Monday, if that's what they're going to say.
Yeah,
we will be prepared. We're working a lot, so we can improve our academy, make the most out of this time, like because people won't be able to train with each other, you know.
Yeah,
and that's like. If you say that to someone, like, yeah, classes are going to be boring, you know. So we're doing the most that we can to make classes like interesting and actually helpful to people.
Right.
Which I think we're going to manage to do.
Yeah, and if from, of course, you can't really know what's going to happen in the coming months, even when it comes to when the academy can even open and people can go back to training, but. When do you expect your next chance will be to fight, to have a revanche against Tommy?
I don't know. Like I'm not really concerned about that. Like I'm sure, I think that will happen, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think about that a lot.
But do you think about the next tournament? I
think about being ready if that happens. But I don't think like, okay, I have to fight Tommy, you know.
No.
I just want to fight, go towards my goals, you know.
Yeah.
Achieve what I want to do, and if that happens, awesome.
But
if it doesn't happen, no problem either.
Are you thinking a lot, like timing wise, like the next big thing is gonna be this and this tournament, Abu Dhabi, or
just the only thing that I'm focused on is being prepared.
Right.
You know, so because once again, that's something I cannot control. So.
Yeah.
If they say I'm going to fight next week, I'll be ready. If
yeah.
they say that I'm going to fight six months from now, I'll be ready to.
Just fine-tuning the machine.
Sorry?
Just fine-tuning the machine.
Yeah.
And you have a background in engineering, right? A master degree even?
Yeah, I got a master degree in material engineering.
Cool. Does that also make you look at jiu-jitsu in another way, like a more technical approach? Or
for sure, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like at first I didn't see that, you know, but then I met my friend Jon Thomas. I'm sure you know him.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like talking to a doppelgänger. Man, it's exactly like we think the same way. We view things the same way. It's an amazing experience to be able to exchange ideas with him.
Yeah.
Because first of all, he's one of the most knowledgeable guys that I've ever seen in jiu-jitsu. You know, I always get something after talking to him. Like we play the same game, but I always get different details, new ideas, new concepts, you know. But like the way that he thinks, it's exactly the same as the way that I think. You know, we did the same things without talking to each other. We like got to the same ideas. Like that's not a coincidence, you know. And after talking to him, I think he didn't finish, but he was also doing engineering. But he got a degree in maths. So
okay.
it's not that far. So that's when I noticed, okay, it affected my mindset. You know, it affected how you see things. Because like I got into engineering because I love how to understand. I love to understand how things work. You know, like why are rain droplets like round, for example?
Yeah,
it's a useless thing, you know. But I like to understand what happens around me. You know, and same thing for jiu-jitsu. Like I don't like to just do this technique. Okay, I'll do that technique. Like why should I do that technique? Why does it work like that? You know?
Yeah.
It's the same way. So
does it also mean you ask a lot of questions?
It really affects how I see it.
Like coming up when you were a white belt, blue belt, were you the guy asking a lot of questions always during class?
No, but I was the guy I trained for 2 hours in that, then went to YouTube and watched videos for like 5 hours trying to understand how it works.
Yeah. And what's it like to train with Jon Thomas anyway? Like,
man, it's weird. We were always joking. You know, that Spider-Man meme that like they're both pointing at each other.
Yeah.
You know, it was how it was the first time. Like I was training. We met in California in the gym. Like we were training before the Worlds, and like once you roll, it's like yeah for sure. And then like I was playing on top, and he was playing Spider Guard. You know, and I was trying to pass, but he was always like 1 second step in front of me, because he does the same passes that I do.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? He knows, like, I could tell that whenever I looked at something, he was already prepared.
Right.
And he was like, he swept me, and then he was trying to pass. I was like, yeah, I know what you're doing. Same thing happened, you know? So, like, we trained for, I don't know, a long time, like half an hour, 40 minutes. And then, like, we didn't talk for the time. Then we stopped. I was like, this was weird, right? And he was like, yeah, this was totally weird, you know? And yeah, that's what it's like.
So the Spider-Man moment was actually during training, not when you guys were talking.
No, yeah, during training. Training. It's like, yeah, this was 100% weird, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, but like that we were joking about that. But then like last year we had the opportunity of going to teach at Camparistos together. It was an awesome week, but it was an awesome week of fun and everything. But I also trained a lot with him, exchanged a lot of ideas. It was game changing for sure.
Yeah.
And then this year in February, I went to Gothenburg to train with him. So
awesome.
Yeah, for me, it's a pleasure to train with him always, because I learn new things every time, you know. Yeah. So we were always exchanging ideas. Like when we were in Camparistos, he was the first guy arriving. Then I got to the house. I was the second guy, so we were alone in the house. And like I was like, "Hey, how are you?" I was like, "Hey, fine." We talked like for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we were already like on the floor, like explaining Toriandos and stuff.
Cool. Yeah. Your brother from another mother.
Yeah, for sure. Like apart from jiu-jitsu, I'm just talking about jiu-jitsu, but he's a really good friend, you know. Yeah. It started out like jiu-jitsu related, but now he's like my friend.
Yeah. It sounds a bit like a movie almost.
Yeah.
Right?
Like gay movie.
I wouldn't go that far, but no, but I mean that's great, right? I mean everybody.
Yeah, I'm joking. Yeah, but it is. I'm glad that I have the opportunity to train with that guy.
Yeah. I have some questions from followers on Instagram. We asked them, "Hey, we're gonna be interviewing Pedro. If there's anything you would like to know, we just ask us, and we can see if we can fit that in the interview." Alexander the Fast from Instagram. The Fast. Fast.
Alexander the Fast. That guy looks like a beast.
He's quick. He asked, how was your training routine during the virus shutdown?
So my training routine, I was training jiu-jitsu every day, once a day, and training strength and conditioning 5 times a week. Mm-hmm. So I used this time to get my strength better, you know, because I just moved up, you know, so I didn't have time to get the strength of a middleweight, you know. I felt strong when I fought the Europeans, but not really strong, you know, like properly strong for the division, you know. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's what I was working on in the quarantine a lot.
Cool. MJ Bouwens, BJJ, Martin Bouwens, you definitely know him. Do you have anything to stay flexible, like yoga or stretching? Do you do anything?
The only thing that I do is I stretch every day before training, but I really do stretch instead of like
hamstrings.
Yeah, especially. I never did anything like I'm flexible now, but when I started jiu-jitsu, I wasn't flexible at all.
Yeah.
Like I just like I was checking videos, like I said, and I found Michael Lange's videos, and that's when I got like in love with jiu-jitsu. Like his guard was so effortless, you know. It was always like chilling on his back. People were all almost passing his guard, and he was like with a poker face, like yeah, and defending. Like this is beautiful, you know. But I wasn't flexible at the time, so before training, I did a lot of stretching.
Yeah.
Always, you know, to get as flexible as he is, to be able to do the same game. So yeah, that's the only thing that I do. I stretch, but like I really do stretch. I'm not faking it, you know.
Yeah.
But I think if you do it, like once again, you have to be consistent. You have to do it every day. If you don't do it every day, you won't get flexible. If you do, yeah, like within a few months, I'm sure you'll get where you want to be.
Yeah, little by little.
Yeah.
Rui Rice asks his height and weight of fights. I think he means what's your height and what's your weight of fights. So 2 questions. I don't think he thinks you're actually cutting height. Weight?
Yeah. He wants to know my fat weight.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Like I'm 183, and right now I'm weighing 84 kilos. 83, 84.
Yeah, yeah. Vasco Leal asks, posture breaking on tall standing opponents from open guard. It's not a question, but how do you do that?
That's vague because open guard can be De La Riva or spider guard. You know, so yeah, I would say best way to break someone's posture is using collar and sleeve.
Right.
You can keep someone down with that.
Cool. Last question from our followers at Jan van Haperen on Instagram asks, where did you get the nickname Paquito from? Or where did it come from?
I was hoping we could skip that. Like the Paquitos were dancers, a group of dancers in Brazil. Like there was a show da Xuxa.
Yeah.
And the middle
Paquitas or Paquitos?
You had both.
You had
Paquitos
both.
And Paquitos.
Right.
So in the middle of the show, like the guys would come in and like dance, you know. And there was one guy who looked exactly like me. Right. And one day, like my coach went into the training room. I was a kid still. I was like 15. Like, yeah, that guy looks like the Paquitos. And from that day on, I was never Pedro again. Always Paquito. Even like I don't know how this happened, but you know, in the IBJJF website, if you check the results, you have like the full name.
Yeah, Pedro Paquito Ramalho.
No, I don't have the full name. Mine is just Paquito.
Oh, really?
I don't know what happened, because you type in your full name and everything, and everyone has their full name there. It's not like Pedro Ramalho. It's like Pedro Ramalho. But for me, it's Paquito.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. Even IBJJF doesn't acknowledge my real name.
At some point, they're going to forget about it.
What?
At some point, they're going to forget about it. Your mama just doesn't know anymore. It's Pedro.
Yeah. Like I just accepted it. It was easy.
Yeah.
It was easy.
we have a last part of the interview, our Shark Tank. A few quick questions. Just say the first thing that comes up in your mind, or a quick answer, 2 or 3 words. ADCC or IBJJF?
IBJJF. For me, for now, IBJJF. But in the future, I would like to try DCC.
Interesting. Chokes or locks?
Chokes.
Jiu-Jitsu groupies?
How so?
like
Jiu-Jitsu group.
girls now, especially now black belt, successful competitor?
Oh, I have a girlfriend, so I have to say no. It's safer to say no.
Right. Favorite technique?
I would say like choke from the back or spider guard sweeps.
Favorite competitor besides yourself?
I have to name both Michael Lange and Leandro Lowe.
Toughest opponent so far?
I have loads, but I think recently Tommy Langaker.
Right.
And Robinho, the guy who I fought the semifinal.
Mm-hmm. Knee reaping in the gi?
No. I think it's with the gi. It's like it will be like I don't know, cheating because it's hard to get up. You know, it's really hard to get up.
Right.
I'm not an expert in reaping positions and stuff like that, but yeah, I think the game it's better without it.
I'm not sure what type of countries you guys use for those jokes of three guys in a bar, but what do Portuguese think about Spanish Jiu-Jitsu?
Spanish Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a lot of friends in Spain, and actually, I think Spanish Jiu-Jitsu is good. Portuguese Jiu-Jitsu is better, but they're pretty good as well.
A good second.
And about the joke at the bars, we use mostly like Brazilians.
Okay.
We joke about Brazilians.
Yeah. Well, that's extra suitable for Jiu-Jitsu then.
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu and weed?
Jiu-Jitsu and weed?
Yeah. Marijuana?
No.
Should the gyms reopen now?
That's a complex question, but
I kept it for the end.
Opinion, I think so.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks so much for sharing your wisdom and also your experiences with us.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's always great to first talk to you, and it's always great to share what I've learned.
Great. And we know that you're working a lot on your content right now. You're also being available as a coach online to do.
Yeah, I started I was starting to do it, but meanwhile, I didn't have to stop, but I'm really busy with the academy stuff.
Yeah.
Because we don't know when we're opening up, and we're trying to we're working a lot towards getting our academy improved. You know.
Yeah.
Getting a lot better in general, and third, we're working a lot because the classes now they're going to be different. You know, it's not like the regular jiu-jitsu class.
For sure, yeah.
So we're working a lot in how the new classes will work, at least in the beginning, because people won't be able to have contact. You know, so me and Andre are working a lot in having good classes that are useful, fun to do, you know, and so
yeah,
I'm working a lot in the academy, so I'm not really focused on the content, you know.
Okay.
But I also started doing the online coaching.
Yeah. Where can people follow you? If people watching right now, they think I would really like to be coached by Pedro online, where could they go?
Yeah, you can talk. I'm doing two things. You can go to Corner Me or BJJ Replay.
Yeah,
they're like online platforms that get coaches for online privates. You know, and which, by the way, I think it's something that is not really known, but it kind of works. I mean, I think it works better. It's not as fun to have a private with someone presentially. Is that how you say it? But if you're there with them,
yeah,
because you can roll with them and stuff like that. But to improve your game, I think online privates is better, because when you're with someone, they show a technique, but then you'll go to training, you do it, but something is off. But the private is over, so you won't be able to get your response.
Right.
You know, okay, what was wrong? In online privates, what I do, I did one. I did one with a guy from Munich. It's my friend also, Max, and yeah, we did one. We're waiting to do the other one, so because he cannot train. But I'm doing another with. I'm following one guy who's able to train at home with his friends, and yeah, like I'm loving it. He was the guy who pushed me into doing online privates. He sent me a message, like, "Are you doing online privates? If you are, I would love to be your first student." I was like, "Man, let's do it." I talked to Jon, and I was like curious, but I didn't have the time. So like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it, and I'm not doing online private. I'm doing like more online coaching, because it's not like one and it's over. I'm doing it like he trains, he sends me a message and footage and stuff like that, and I say do this, do that, and it's working. I'm really happy because of course you have to do it to earn money and stuff like that, which I do, of course, but also like I'm super happy because it's awesome to see someone improving,
Yeah.
And he improved a lot in the past like month or 2 months. So right now that's all that I'm doing, but I will try to get more if anyone wants to try it.
Nice.
I'm available for sure.
So that's really a way for people watching to really get better over time, instead of just one flashy move that you teach them, or it's really working together for a while.
Yeah. Like, because that's what I mean. Like in jiu-jitsu, your learning happens. It doesn't happen like someone shows you something and it works.
Yeah.
It does never. If you think about it, never happens like that. Like someone shows you something, you'll try it for sure. 99% of the time, you'll get a problem. And then you have to come back to the person. It's like, oh, this happened, and the person will say, yeah, that's normal. You have to this, and that, and then the technique works.
Yeah.
It's really hard for something to work in the beginning, like straight away. So that's where the learning is. The learning is not understanding the technique, like doing the technique, but like solving the problems that you will have.
Makes sense.
And after you're able to solve, like, for example, like the most common, like 3 or 4 problems, then you get the technique right. Yeah. If he turns the knee this way, like, how to defend. The other way, how to defend. And now it works. You're controlling the person and you can hit it whenever you want, So that's why online privates, in my opinion, are the best complement to training. Of course, number one, you have to be training. You cannot be good at jiu-jitsu with online privates. But if you're training and if you're in a situation that you can do online privates, of course, and if you want to get your jiu-jitsu better, I would say it's the best way to do it.
Sounds awesome. Well, we'll put a link in the description, bjjreplay.com. I hope you won't get too many people at the same time now, but definitely if you guys...
I'm glad to. Like I said, it's something that I started doing because of Chris, that guy, that pushed me into doing it. I'm loving it. I'm loving to do it, So yeah, if too many people get in, I'll do it because I really like it.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for sharing all your knowledge, and also really looking forward to, well, of course, all of us together getting out of this lockdown, but really looking forward to what you're going to be doing there in competitions, and looking forward to see you on the podium.
Thanks, man.
Right.
Yeah, for me the same thing. Looking forward to train again, be able to go to the Netherlands to train with you guys, and ride a bike around Groningen.
Yeah.
Groningen, sorry.
Yeah, you need to work on the
yeah, I still need to work a little bit on the Dutch.
Yeah.
But I'll do that next time I'm there.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the opportunity. Always great to talk to you and share my knowledge.
Cool.
What I've learned.
Yeah, we'll speak soon, and for now, stay safe, and all the best.
You too, man.
Right.
Thanks.
Take care.
Oos.
Oos.